I think we should approve the draft, subject to revision. And then after, that's okay.
Is there a motion to that effect? Motion, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Brian, you'll have to get with me on that breakout because I had to have the box. You don't have any records anymore.
Right, I understand.
Okay.
We'll do it. Thank you.
Okay, next item is to review and take action on the district's 2013 audit. We've done that, excuse me. To review and take action on granting exemptions for 2014.
Now, last year we did we're talking taxes, correct? And we only had one. So are we, is this the deadline or what's the,
No, it's not the deadline.
because we have a new board coming in, correct?
And if you want to table this to next meeting,
And then when do we have to make that decision? Just the next meeting or the?
July 1st.
July, so we would have to do it the next meeting, correct? And I think we should table and let them have an opportunity. That's my motion.
There's a motion to table.
Second.
Any discussion? The only thing that I have to add is that the sales tax has provided itself with this additional revenue that was not expected. I would encourage the new board to consider exempting all ad valorem taxes for disabled veterans and also those over the age of 65.
So I would like to make a comment also that remind everybody that we actually had the first exemption last year than we had ever had on this board, and all the years the board's been in, where our exemption was that the first, on any senior citizen, the first 50,000 was given to them. That was no taxes on anybody over, was it 62? 65. And so we had that. So I'd like to see definitely that happen again too. So whatever we end up doing.
Disabled veteran is a state exemption, so that's automatic.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll see.
Okay. So that's been tabled. Excuse me, I need to call for the vote. All in favor for tabling, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, next up is to pay district bills, including commissioner fees and expense reimbursement.
I'll make that motion.
Is a motion? Is there a second? And moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next item is to review and take action on the payment of operations funding pursuant to the 2014 budget service agreement of the Cy-Fair Wilmington Fire Department.
Make a motion. Payment of operations to the fire department in the amount of $1,490,870.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next item is to review and take action on the payment of capital funding pursuant to the 2014 budget service agreement with the department.
I'll make that motion. Payment of capital expenditures to the Cy-Fair Volunteer Fire Department in the amount of $35,287.63.
I'll second it.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, next item is to review and take action on the sales tax matters.
I'm Richard Fletcher with Sales Tax Assurance. Here to give an update on work that we've completed on behalf of the district since we started working roughly 90 days ago. one of the primary components of the sales tax administration work that we do is the monitoring of all businesses in the district and all those businesses that are not within the district that are required to pay sales tax into this jurisdiction. During the initial phase of the setup and the analysis, we've considered over 19,000 businesses to determine whether or not they are in this jurisdiction and properly paying taxes, or they fall outside your jurisdiction. We've determined that 7,074 of those businesses are located in the district and are registered correctly through the Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts database. We identified 617 businesses that were not registered correctly and should be paying taxes in to Harris County ESD number 9.
Say that one more time.
617 businesses. We identified 142 businesses that were paying taxes in that should not have been.
Okay.
I was asked earlier if we had good news. We have news. We'll see what falls out from this as we go forward and we see the results of the activities we've taken. So that information has been shared back with the state. They're going through and confirming what we're telling them is correct. And so those corrections will be showing up as we move forward. I can't tell you exactly how long that will take. We have to really just watch and see.
So out of 104, so we have 142 businesses we're probably going to owe money back to, is that correct? We're collecting if we shouldn't be? Is that what I heard correct?
That's a possibility, yes.
Okay.
And yet 617 that could potentially owe you money. So that's what we have to wait and see what the fallout is from that.
Okay.
The 142 that you're talking about are in ESD9?
142 are not.
I don't mean the sales tax zone, I mean, are they physically in jurisdiction of ESD9?
I don't believe that they are.
So that they might be in Katy or Jersey Village?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
that's correct.
Well, that's curious, because if they were, they'd be paying 8.25% already. So who are they reporting it to before?
Well, that happens though. I mean, they could just be reporting it incorrectly.
But they would have had to start that in October 2015. That they should have been paying 8.25% sales tax.
If they were in, well, I see what you're saying. So if they were in Jersey Village, they were already paying 8.25.
Okay.
Um,
It's just like, why did they change all of a sudden their reports?
Sure.
Indicate ESD9.
And I can look into that. It's probably not one answer for all 142 of them.
Yeah,
I can certainly look into that.
Just curious.
Could that be like because they got the letter or something,
Yeah.
or, you know? So
I
they
mean,
changed
we can
it?
probably find some jurisdictions around the state that they get a letter like that, they start charging 9.
Yeah.
That's true, though, no, we got questions. We did get questions. We did get phone calls.
To this point, all of those corrections have been submitted to the state. The next step, and after that initial setup, we've considered 583 additional businesses, new businesses, and found that 255 of those were identified as being set up correctly to report to the district. 12 businesses that should have been set up to collect sales tax from the district and were not. So we requested that they be added to ESD 9's jurisdiction, and 4 businesses that were set up within the district and should not have been. So again, same issue there. And if they're new, they may just have their own jurisdiction. And out of the 142, actually, Howard, some of those could also be fairly new businesses. So from the time sales tax is implemented in ESD 9, they could have established their business and selected the wrong jurisdiction to pay tax into. And again, to this point, all of those corrections have been submitted. Your top industry segment overview, your number one industry segment that you're collecting sales tax on is 30% for retail trade. Number 2 is wholesale trade at almost 20%. And then third is manufacturing at just over 12%. Some of the other information that we're providing to you guys on a monthly basis, your top 10 taxpayers are accounting for 18% of the total sales tax collections in the jurisdiction, your top 30 taxpayers are accounting for 35.5% of the collections for the jurisdiction. There will be a lot of fallout from these corrections we've submitted, and that's what we'll continue to monitor month over month. Our administration not only entails all the setup and determination on what's in jurisdiction, what's out, there's also a review on a monthly basis. We're looking at almost 2,700 businesses every month, comparing how much they're paying this month, how much they paid last month, and ultimately we'll compare that to how much they paid in the same month last year. We don't have that information yet, but that does give us some idea. We can develop a pattern or baseline of what your expected taxes should be, and we can look for anomalies in there to make sure that those don't change. If they do change, we go find out why. Probably 60 to 90 days from now, I will be back and I'll have more substantial information on what the impact has been from these businesses that we've corrected.
Now, if I recall, I think you said retail made up 30%, and manufacturing made up 20%.
Mm-hmm.
So that's roughly 50% of the sales to us.
Yes.
Roughly. So from a projection or forecast and any kind of economic impact, that's a pretty big percentage. I mean, that's half of it. So, I mean, obviously it's not going to drop 100%. But is that something, when you're working through this, that you can project? Is there any metrics you have? We can say you can expect, a 10% decrease in overall sales tax based upon a certain, GDP or whatever.
Sure. We'll provide some historical information and also some projections out of the Federal Reserve in Dallas. Retail's exposure is going to be more closely associated with downturn in the economy, those kinds of things. And so we do provide some of that information on a quarterly basis to you guys. That takes a look at, there's like 9 indicators that are looked at. And we provide that information, and it gives about typically a 6 to 8 month lag. So the Houston economy would respond 6 to 8 months behind what the Dallas Federal Reserve, what those leading indicators are pointing to. And that's some information that we share with you guys, as well as just watching the industry segment and how it changes and see what moves up. But yes, we could certainly assist you guys with providing you some of that information for planning purposes. The only other thing I'd point out is I think as reported in your financials, your collections for May were $1.7 million, $1.77 million. And you've collected $7,791,936 year to date, calendar year to date. And I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Hearing no questions, Yvonne, thank you for the report.
Thank you.
Oh, you know what, I do have a question. It was projected that we would see an error rate of 2% or less. Is that consistent with what you've been finding?
I mean, looking at almost 20,000 businesses for the district, that would, we're probably a little bit under that, but we're not far off.
Okay.
3. No, that's probably, actually, might be a little bit over that error rate. Because we really, the number, we're looking at 769 businesses that were not registered correctly out of 19,000 that we've looked at. The initial net we throw, we know goes beyond the district boundaries though. So we know we're going to look at businesses that are outside of district boundaries. That's part of the idea, is that we're picking up outside and then we're cutting it back to what your actual jurisdiction is.
Thank you. No other questions? Thank you for the report. We'll move on to the next item. next item is to receive a report from the district general manager.
The ESD audit is basically over. The Cypher audit is almost over. We're still going back and forth with the auditor. He did phone call interviews today. He was supposed to get hold of Jennifer and then Mark and myself. So that should be on track for next month's board meeting. The other things I'll bring up, I guess, under district committee meetings and then under the Motorola project. So construction here, the carpet's been put in all the offices, the floor is finished, the majority of the AC work is done, so it looks like probably another 2 or 3 more days and we'll have it done. So I would expect by the end of next week, we should be complete on construction here also.
So, should we talk with, about the graduation and what we decided to do? Is that something we can do now so that we?
Honestly, that
make sure
hasn't
the
been on
fire
my plate this week, so I understand that you want something done, but it's not till June 15th, so we've got a little bit of time.
department- But is that something we need to do now or at the meeting? I mean,
Well,
we've already voted and already approved something, right? So it doesn't really take a real motion, does it? It just,
No, it wasn't something that I was saying that you needed a motion to do. It was something where the fire department had a problem with the
yes,
cadets
I know
wearing
that.
helmets.
So my
So-
question is,
I had suggested something else, and then the last email back from Freddie was he had given you some suggestions on other things to do. Mike had given a suggestion on something to do, so, I mean, it's up to you what you want to do.
for
but
some
we don't
reason,
have another
I didn't see
meeting,
anything
so
else in front of
maybe-
me, so I don't know.
I don't know. Yours fit in perfectly with what he said, something, a token that would be appreciated.
yeah, and I didn't know the hat that you found, I don't know what the difference is. So, I mean, I really don't have an opinion one way or the other, as long as it meets what it is, the needs that they have, you know, that it would be.
We got
it would
plenty of
just-
time. We've got till June 15th to get on something, so if we're gonna order boots, we need to figure out who it is and get their size, but so that we do it right. So,
Okay.
The thought about boots on the ground actually came from Scott, and that was one of the campaign statements that was made by one of the other people that were running, which I thought was really appropriate, that, you know, those cadets are boots on the ground, and that while a helmet might be not necessarily appropriate because there's no way to control how they're going to use it, it doesn't matter if they're wearing boots. So I would encourage us to just go ahead and narrow our choices to the boots and modify our election if we're, you know, a helmet versus a set of nice utility boots.
Right, I think boots are great. I just think we need to have something. I mean, that would be awesome.
well, if you're gonna do boots, then we need to wait to see who's getting it, and then we'll order their correct size.
Right.
So if you want me to print up like a certificate or something like that of appreciation, once we have the name, and then say that, you know, to be awarded 1 pair of boots, whatever, in your size, so that you have something to give them that night, that's fine.
Scott, can you provide the manufacturer of those boots? I know that.
Oh, there's hundreds. You'd probably get with the chief or someone that knows better.
And the certificate.
Yeah, we'll look through. As long as we have something.
No, ma'am, no problem.
Okay, anything else under the general manager's
We're
report?
gonna give them helmets.
No.
Graduate. And we can have the
Okay.
ESD.
To receive and take action on committee reports, including the committee report, including college burn building. Rodney?
I'm sorry.
We're going to be talking about the burn building and the college committee.
We met,
To investigate that.
correct, we met with, or I met with Felicia Moore Davis, and we have some future meetings scheduled to go over some more details on that. So it's in the process.
Okay, so it's still a work in progress.
Yes, sir.
Okay, seeing that there's nothing on that to further discuss, we'll move on. Unless someone has
I've got,
a question.
yeah, I've got a brief.
Okay. Next item is to receive committee reports from the district committee chairs. Go ahead.
I've got one out in the Dropbox on the budget process, and I met with a number of people, I met with Bill and several other people, this was yesterday or the day before, talking about the overall budget process. I've met with Tom Jakovich a couple times at the fire department, trying to get the whole process ironed out. I think we have a good idea, we want to write it up, and my plan is to get in the Dropbox a week before the next meeting for the new board to look at, so we have something to go forward with. And, that's about all I have there.
Yeah, you have any?
Earlier this month, the fire department invited me to be an observer in the assessment phase of some of the candidates that they were doing on fire chief. And I was really impressed with the way the assessment was being done. I even talked to a fire chief that had already gone through that assessment 4 years ago. The way he put it to me, and after observing the assessments that were going on, he said, don't ever go through that again. It is the roughest thing you have ever been through. It was, and listening to it and observing, it was a very good assessment of the candidates. I was very impressed.
So in a nutshell, your assessment is that the efforts of the fire department's making is definitely...
Definitely looking to try and get the right person at the job.
Thank you for making those efforts. Okay. The only thing that I have under facilities, last month I reported that our contract with our electrical service provider and negotiation company provided information that we had saved roughly $300,000. Mr. Elder is here this evening. I know that he's more than interested, and I would encourage the board to listen to his presentation and consider continuing in that relationship.
Thank you very much, and welcome, I guess, the new board in this direction. Is that about 3 years ago, is that we got together with the board and we took a look at what y'all were doing with regards to your electricity, okay, at all the different fire departments, all the different stations that you had. And what we did is that we put them basically all together, and we packaged it up so that we could basically put competitive pressure into the purchase of the electricity. And last month's report, which is what I had given to Michael, is that we were able to generate over $300,000 worth of savings for you all over the last 3 years. Okay. Now, what happens with electricity is that it's a commodity, and we have our job is to manage when our customers do what with regards to buying things, so that they're being as smart as they possibly can be. And what happens is that we're always in the market looking out for our customers to make sure that the next time that they get ready to do something with regards to it, that it's positioned we get the very best pricing that we possibly can get based on what we call market timing. Okay, so your contract runs out. The one that we put into place actually runs out in August. The first meter read in August, and so it's we're now creeping up on that time frame, and we wanted to come to visit with you all because, generally speaking, is that you want to go ahead and take a look at